just moments away from getting a playoff game up and running here. This is the SSFA, Spring Stratomatic Football Association, and we have reached the final four of this 16-game season. We have four clubs remaining, and this is one of those semifinal games for the right to play in the SSFA Championship. And it features the Seattle Seahawks, coached by Dennis Crowley, who finished the regular season 9-7 against Ed Barrow and his San Francisco 49ers. And I believe his club finished 13-3. And there you see it. 13-3, one of the two best records in the league, along with the 16-0 New York Jets, coached by Tom Cook. And Dennis Crowley was one of 9 clubs to qualify, but as you can see with the double asterisk there, they needed to win a play-in game against the Washington Redskins for the right to even make it to the 8-team playoff. And they were able to do so by defeating the Washington Redskins in that opening round, 26-7. So now we go to the quarterfinals, and they were able to topple the undefeated 16-0 New York Jets, 26-7. And if you'll look here, actually 3 of the 4 games were pretty lopsided, with 19-point margin. There's a 22-point margin. There's a 20-point margin. As you can see, San Francisco defeated Detroit 48-28. And San Francisco, they just absolutely would not leave the field. They were dominant offensively throughout that game. Seattle, Dennis Crowley coached a wonderful game against an undefeated New York Jet club. And the only close game, in fact, was Minnesota, who had to come from behind. I believe they were down either 17 or 21 points to the Los Angeles Chargers and made a great run in the second half for the right to play in their semifinal game, and they'll be taking on Kansas City. I believe Tom Cook, who also is a member of this league, he will be broadcasting that game. And so we're going to join this game just right away, as a matter of fact. So apparently we had a touchback to begin the game, and Seattle will start out with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 25, and at first play is a pickup of 5 yards, and it's now 2nd down and 5. That was a run to Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown is a real-life Los Angeles Rams. He is a limited carry running back, but he has a very effective card, and we will see him most likely here in this first half. He has 11 unfatigued carries. Now he'll have 12 total. Here is a pass, or at least in its attempt to pass to Benjamin, but it's a snap fumble. Seattle recovers the ball, fortunate for the Seahawks. And we missed the animation on that play, but it looks like Seattle was able to forward that fumble for another 11 yards. We're having a problem here with Stratomatic, especially online. It's a little buggy. And so as you can see there, the snap fumble, we see Donald Pym recovers the ball, and apparently he was able to lumber forward for 6 yards for 1st down. Here comes a deep shot, and this one is going to go for big yardage to Kelvin Benjamin as he's racing to the 30s, off to the 20, to the 10, and they're going to catch up with him just before reaching pay dirt. So a long pass there of 59 yards from Russell Wilson to Kelvin Benjamin on the 3rd play from scrimmage. And Seattle is in business at the San Francisco 5-yard line. So 1st down for Dennis Crowley. These are 2 coaches with plenty of championship titles in multiple leagues. Ed Barrow has been a longtime Stratomatic proponent, Dennis Crowley as well. They're both great for the game, and they're both excellent coaches, and they're good sports too. So this should be an excellent matchup between 2 very heady coaches. The Seattle is in business here. 1st down and goal at the 5. Here's a run for Frank Gore. It's guessed wrong. It's a pickup of 3. It's now a 2nd down and 2 for Seattle. So it looks like they are going to draw first blood here in this SSFA semifinal game. The winner goes to the championship and will face the winner of Kansas City and Minnesota. So buckle up. This could be a high-scoring game. Again, San Francisco in their semifinal game scored 48 points. Seattle was able to notch 26 in their semifinal contest. Here's a sneak for Russell Wilson. He's able to pick up 2 yards, and that is a score. Defense guessed pass. And we have our first score of the game, and it's just under 3 minutes in. Seattle has taken a 6-0 lead pending this extra point that Harrison Butler will put through the pipes. So Seattle draws first blood here, 7-0. San Francisco is a high-powered offense. Again, scored 48 in the last game. So while it's not the best start, they can put points on the board. So we could see a shootout. So San Francisco will down this in the end zone, which means we will have to close out of the game, as that is another bug that we hope Stratomatic will fix in the next edition. When you play and you watch this game online, for whatever reason, the ball sails into the end zone, and on a touchback, you have to jump back into the game. The spectators are thrown out of the game. So we'll get right back into this. That's the same game. So again, San Francisco will take over first down and 10. Well, it says ball on their 24. It's possible they may have taken that out. So Ed may have chosen to take it out, but Tom Cook, who broadcasts a lot of these games, usually carte blanche, will go ahead and just jump out of the game, which I think is the right thing to do because you do tend to get stuck. And also, apparently, we missed a big play there because I thought it was at the San Francisco 24, and instead it's at the Seattle 24. So we've missed that play. We'll go to the box score here in just a moment, and hopefully we caught it. It could have been a long kickoff return for all we know. So my apologies that we missed that play. We'll see if we can glean anything from the box score. Yep, that's a shame. Well, okay. So it looks like a run for Bilal Powell of 51 yards. So that's how we made our way to the 24. There's another run call. That's to Carlos Hyde. He picks up 2 on the play. So on the first play from scrimmage, which we missed, that was a 51-yard run after the touchback. San Francisco took over the ball at the 25. Bilal Powell ran for 51 yards on the first play. And now San Francisco has the ball at the Seattle 16-yard line. It's now 3rd down and 2. Okay, wanting to make sure the broadcast is going fine. Everything looks good. 3rd and 2. Here is another off-tackle run, this one to Carlos Hyde. The defense guesses pass on this play. Hyde runs it to the middle, and he's going to pick up enough yards for the first down. So the ball is now at the 10. Throw the card image up here. So 1st and goal, 2 go, ball at the 10-yard line. Flat pass is still in effect, 10 yards and out. So there's a variety of options we can see here from Ed Barrow, coach of the San Francisco 49ers, who finished 13-3 this season, 2nd best record in the SSFA. Dennis Crowley's club, 9-7. They got here the hard way with a playoff win, a play-in game just to get into the playoffs. Then defeating the undefeated 16-0 New York Jets. There is a sack. That was a pass attempt to Diggs. It was a short pass. And the sack for Seattle makes it 2nd and goal at the 18. So that's an 8-yard loss. And that was Matt Judon from the real-life Baltimore Ravens. So 2nd down and 10, ball at the, 2nd and goal to go from the 18. Defense 4-3. They are in the blitz, safety blitz. Here comes a pitch out to Carlos Hyde. There is no linebacker in that zone. Hyde turns the corner, and he's going to make it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. That was a defensive end 11 or 47. And with the white die 6, the defensive end was not able to make the play. Hyde turns the corner and is in for a touchdown, and fireworks galore in just the first 6 minutes of this contest. We are knotted at 7. Seattle now will take over. So we're going to try to prepare. Let's see, this one's go to the goal. Let's see if they will stop play here, or will Dennis take it out? And so the game freezes. Boy, this incredibly annoying bug. So hopefully we won't miss a big play like the last time. My fingers are crossed that the guys will consider taking the ball out if it's at the goal, just for not to stop this game, but that's kind of selfish of me, obviously. Go back in we go. Okay, so Seattle will take over. Let's see where they are. So it's 1st and 10 at the 35. Looks like they were able to get a first down. This is Russell Wilson under center, who is the quarterback for a lot of Dennis Crowley clubs. And here comes a deep pass to Brown, but it is incomplete. Actually, that was a short pass to Brown. Defense gets run there. And it's the dreaded 5, only on the opposite direction there. It was a pass attempt by Wilson, but as you can see on his card, got a blank there on a 5. Lots of opportunity when guessed wrong. But in this case, the pass falls incomplete. Here is another pass attempt. Defense guesses pass here. This is Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, out of the backfield, and he will pick up 11 yards. That was on Juszczyk's card. Not a particularly strong card when guessed right. As you can see, positive yardage on 7, 9, and 12. In this case, he's able to pick up 11 yards and get another first down. So we're halfway here in the first quarter. Guess wrong. Here is a pass to Vernon Davis, a 15, 16-yard pickup, and already Seattle has made their way into San Francisco territory. So we've had 2 big plays in this game early on. A 59-yard pass from Russell Wilson to Kelvin Benjamin, 59 yards that led to the game's first score. San Francisco countered with a touchdown of their own on a 18-yard run, I believe, from Carlos Hyde. And that was set up by a 51-yard run by Bilal Powell. So plenty of offense on both sides of the ball. It's now 2nd down and 10. Seattle has it at the San Francisco 38. Here's a deep shot to Kyle Juszczyk. Defense guesses pass. And on Russell Wilson's card, it's a 29-yard reception. Now let's see if Juszczyk can actually catch a ball 29 yards. And the answer is yes, it certainly is. And the ball is now down at the 9. So that was a nice break for Seattle. As you can see on Russell Wilson's card, completions only on 9 and 10. Now look at that interception, 2 through 7 and 11 and 12 when guessed right. But he rolls a 10, and that gets him 29. And again, Seattle is in business. Ball at the San Francisco 9, 1st and goal to go. Here is a pass attempt to Cohen, but with 4 men in the zone, the pass falls incomplete. Defense gets run again there. So San Francisco catches a break. It's now 2nd and 10. There were 4 men in the zone. That would have had a receiver rating on Cohen had that pass. Had they had 3 men in the zone, it would have been a receiver rating. Now it's full house backfield for Seattle. That's Kyle Juszczyk, along with Brown from the Rams, and that's Tariq Cohen in there. Benjamin is wide out. That's Vernon Davis at tight end. Here's a curl pass to Benjamin. Defense again guesses run, and that pass is going to be caught. That's a touchdown. So Benjamin, quite solid here in the first quarter. That's 13 now for Seattle. 2 touchdowns on their opening 2 drives. And with this extra point that goes through, it's now 14-7 Seattle. So San Francisco has been unable to stop Seattle on their first 2 drives. Let's see if the Niners can answer. So we're going to step away here for just a moment. And join the action in progress here. It's 1st and 10 for San Francisco. Bilal Powell in the backfield. Here's a curl pass to Stephon Diggs. Defense guesses run here. So this should be something good, and it is. It's a pickup of 11 yards. It's interesting. Both of these coaches haven't called successful defensive calls. I think both of them know that they like to run the ball, and it's already opening up opportunities in the pass as both clubs have incorrectly guessed on the run-pass option. So we've seen some good gains here as a result. Here's an off-tackle run. Now, this one is guessed right. It's not going to matter. It's on the defensive card, and that's a pickup of 5. So 2nd down and 5. There's 4:30 to go here in the first quarter. We already have 21 points on the board. San Francisco up 14-7. The winner will play in the finals against Kansas City or Minnesota, a game that will be played this week and broadcast undoubtedly by Dennis Crowley or Tom Cook. So here's a quick in, and this one goes to Delaney Walker. That's a pickup of 6 yards, and it's another 1st down. I'm going to leave the broadcast here for just a moment. It's 1st and 10, ball at the 47 for San Francisco. It was trailing 14-7 here in the first quarter to the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, back at it, 2nd down and 5. There is your dreaded 5. Defense guesses right on that run by Bilal Powell. He loses a yard. It's now 3rd down and 6. We haven't seen a lot of 3rd downs in this game, so Seattle has their first opportunity to get San Francisco off the field. They did threaten on San Francisco's first drive as the Niners had the ball at the Seahawks 10, and following an 8-yard sack, it was 2nd down and goal from the 18, but San Francisco was able to navigate their way into the end zone for a score. Here it is on 3rd down. They're not going to make it here. This will only be a pickup of 4. So now it's 4th and 2 with the ball at the 45. This is decision time, but it's an easy decision for San Francisco, who knows they can put points on the board, and they will go ahead and punt this away. They're going to try to kick this one out of bounds. And the kick travels. It barely even gets to the line of scrimmage. Wow. What a horrible break. And look at this. And Seattle has some big yardage on the way back. So that was an interesting turn of events. That was a return by Will Fuller. San Francisco attempting a coffin corner kick where you subtract yards from the kick. Not only did the kick not go out of bounds, it only traveled what appeared to be 4 yards, and Will Fuller traveled 31 yards in the other direction, setting up excellent field position for Seattle with the ball at the Niners' 27-yard line. On the first play, that's a pickup of 4 for Malcolm Brown. Defense guessed run on that play, but he still was able to manage 4 yards. He's got a pretty decent run card there, even when guessed right. But again, he is a limited carry running back. But Seattle looking very good early on. Here's another good call. 12-yard pickup. Defense again guesses run. Didn't put a linebacker in to support. That's a pickup of 12 yards on the play and another 1st down. That was a run again for Brown, who so far has 3 carries for 21 yards. Here's another run for Malcolm Brown. Defense guesses. Well, I didn't see what they guessed there, but it doesn't really matter. It was on the defensive card, so that's a pickup of 5 on the play. As the defensive end was unable to make the play as he is not a 6. So one thing about Dennis's club here, defensively, they're not too solid, but look at that offensive line, especially from a run blocking perspective. Looks pretty solid, especially on end runs. run it left, end run left, off tackle left, run tackle 5 on the other side. That's not bad. Plus you got Kyle Juszczyk, who's a 6 rated fullback. There's an inside run for Cohen, and he is going to pick up 3. So now it's 3rd down and 2. So San Francisco, very much an offensive juggernaut, but they're on their heels early here as Seattle is up 14-7 and on the doorstep of extending this lead to 2 scores. We have made our way into the second quarter. Again, both clubs scoring 21 in the first, and there is a run and a big one for Tariq Cohen as he's able to get the first down and find pay dirt, and Seattle is up 21-7 over the San Francisco 49ers. The Cinderella Seahawks are up 2 scores on a club that won 13 games this season. And that one's going to sail into the end zone, so we will go ahead and jump out of here. So Seattle, for the right to even play in this game, had to play a play-in game just to get into these playoffs, which they were able to beat the Washington Redskins. And then they slayed the mighty New York Jets at 16-0. There aren't very many coaches who can do more with less than Dennis Crowley. Don't get me wrong, this is a good club, but this is not one of his stronger clubs. But Crowley is always going to be a tough out. And Ed Barrow knows that, but Ed also knows that he's got the offense to get right back into this game. That's Kirk Cousins under center, Marvin Jones on the outside along with Stephon Diggs, and Bilal Powell in the backfield. That was a pickup of 8 on the play for Powell. So now it's 2nd down and 2. Here comes a deep shot to Marvin Jones. There is a man in the zone. It is on Kirk Cousins' card. It's guessed right, but he's still going to pick up big yards. So you got a 45-yard pickup on that play. So now the Niners have flipped the script. Ball at the 22-yard line, trailing 21-7. But San Francisco has flipped the field. No worries for Ed Barrow. This team is going to score some points, no question. Defense calls run. Nice call by Crowley. A pickup of 2 on the play for Hyde. That's his 5th carry for 34 yards. Five carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown today. That stop was by Judon, who has 4 stops today, including a quarterback sack in the first quarter. And I think it's important to point out defensive statistics because we haven't seen a lot of it so far. Seattle has scored on all 3 of their drives. San Francisco is on their 3rd drive. Their 2nd was stalled by a shanked punt, which gave Seattle monstrously good field position. Yeah, they took advantage of it with their 3rd score. Seattle up 21-7 over San Francisco. 3rd down and 8. I believe this is San Francisco's 2nd attempt at converting a 3rd down. They were unsuccessful on their last drive. 3 wide set, shotgun formation for Cousins. So they got the blocking back formation here. So it's Greg Olsen in the backfield. We will not see a run. This is going to be a pure pass. Safety blitz, it looks like. And this is going to be another sack. And it's a big one that knocks them back all the way to the 30. So on that safety blitz, he was sacked by interior lineman Gerald McCoy. So this is going to set up a long 47-yard field goal attempt. And it's going to go through. So 2 through 9 and 12. So Russell puts it through, and that cuts it down to 2 scores, 21-10. So big stop there for Seattle as they force them into a 3rd and relatively long, called the safety blitz, and came out ahead. This kick actually falls short, so we won't have to jump out of the game. Seattle will take over, ball at their own 21. 10:48 to go here in the second quarter. Seattle up 21-10. These coaches call the game fast, so the game is breezing by. Here's a pitch out to Malcolm Brown. Look at those short gains on 4, 6, and 7. Doesn't hit him this time. It's a pickup of 3. Second down and 7. Ball to 24. Seattle 9 and 7 in the regular season. San Francisco 13 and 3. Both clubs breezed through their semifinal games. The winner will take on the contest winner between Minnesota and Kansas City. There's a pickup of 5 on that pass to Brown. It's on Russell Wilson's card. Wilson, 6 of 9 for 129 yards and a touchdown. To Kelvin Benjamin. So third down and 2. Frank Gore in the backfield. Behind Kyle Juszczyk. Again, strong offensive line there. See some 5s at five. Let's see, got you 5 at tackle, and you got 2 6s on the left side. So let's see. I think it's a given that Barrow's going to pull one of those linebackers up to plug that zone, and he does. But defense, well, they call pass. Nice call. And it's a crossing pattern to John Brown. And that pass is going to be caught by Brown. So he's going to pick up 9 on the play. And actually, as a dump-off pass, I see. So Russell Wilson, I wondered why that short pass should have picked up 9 yards. So basically, pressure on the quarterback. Wilson dumped it off. Kyle Juszczyk picks up 9 on the play. Not a lot of yards on that flat pass card, but he does have a lot of completions, and that's important when you're playing with that dump-off rule. So on that first play from scrimmage, that was a run by Brown, and that could have been quite dangerous, actually. Defensive end 0 or 17, but he only needed to be a 4. Mission accomplished. Stopped at the 38. Second down and 10 with 8:24 to go here in the first half, second quarter, if you will. Here's a curl pass to Benjamin, who has been huge in this game, and that's another big pickup for Benjamin as he is stopped at the San Francisco 27. Already 173 yards for Russell Wilson. 103 of those going to his favorite wideout, Kelvin Benjamin. 3 catches for 103 yards. And there's a run play on first down, but it's only a pickup of 1. Second down and 9. And there is your dreaded 5. Defense guesses pass. Brown, look at that, dancing between the raindrops of a 4, 6, and 7 short gain. You've got your dreaded 5. And it is dreaded indeed. No gain. It's now 3rd and 9 from the 26. If they don't convert here, Seattle has a great kicker in Harrison Butler. He's got the range to put this one through. But let's see if they can convert. You've got a 6 guarding Jerron Brown. You have a 6 on Vernon Davis and a 6 on Kelvin Benjamin. And that's Stephen Gilmore, and he has been burnt today. But it's had nothing to do with him, obviously. Any rating is going to be automatic incomplete. Cohen and what looks like a 43 field goal to 20. Crowley could be weighing his options here. we just had a short delay. He decided to go ahead and kick it, and Butler does put it through. And they do extend that lead. Now, we missed a little bit of animation there, which actually isn't a bad thing, as San Francisco to take over 1st and 10. There is a pass attempt that falls incomplete for Kirk Cousins. He was looking for Bilal Powell. It's now 2nd down and 10. So San Francisco is trailing 24-10. They will get the ball at the open of the 3rd quarter. So obviously Ed wants to put some points here and cut this lead before halftime. Here's a quick out to Delaney Walker. Defense guesses pass. Linebacker, white dice 6. Means if your linebacker isn't a 6, put 0 men in the zone. And so that's a pickup of 13 and a 1st down for San Francisco. So pick up a 13 there for Delaney Walker. Here's a curl pass to Diggs. Again, another pass attempt. Defense has only 3 men in the zone protecting against that deep shot. Pass falls incomplete. It's now 2nd down and 10. Cousins so far is 6 of 8 for 87 yards. Here's an off-tackle run for Powell. Defense guesses pass. It's on the defensive card, and it picks up only 2. As the offensive outside end 5, but he wasn't able to make that block. So he's got an interesting line here with a 5, a 0, a 6, 5, and 4. So you kind of have to pick your spots here where you're running. He does have a good blocking tight end with a 5. Of course, you've got that linebacker option there with a 6 at center, so that's positive. 3rd down and 8. We've seen a lot of this from Crowley throughout the playoffs, his 3-2-6. Here comes a deep shot to Greg Olsen, and the defense double teams him. Nice call. And San Francisco will turn the ball back over to Seattle. This is their 2nd punt. Seattle has not yet punted the ball. San Francisco, this is their 2nd punt, hoping to put together something a little bit better than the 4-yard effort that we saw earlier in the 2nd quarter, and he does. 47 yards. It'll be picked up at the 13. And it'll be returned 9 yards by Will Fuller, who I, on more than a few occasions in other broadcasts, have called Will Ferrell. We need more cowbell. 3:36 to go here in the half. Seattle up 24-10. The giant killer, Seattle Seahawks, fresh off a win against the undefeated 16-0 New York Jets. They are not afraid. Now taking on the 2nd best club in the league and up 2 scores and looking to do more. Here's a short pass, and it falls incomplete. Defense guess pass. Pass falls to the turf. 2nd down and 10, ball to 21. 3:18 to go here in the 1st half. Seattle up 24-10 over Ed Barrow and his San Francisco 49ers. The winner will take on the winner of the Kansas City and Minnesota SSFA semifinal game. There's a deep shot to Jerron Brown. It's on the receiver card. Ooh, wow, close. A 4 gets him a long gain. A 6 gets him a 25-yard pickup. But a 5 will get you nothing. So now it's 3rd and 10. Ball at the 21. Defense staring at a 3-wide set. Counters with a 3-2-6. Leaving the middle open. That's Russell Wilson, who is in the pistol, so I believe that gives him the ability to end run here. With 4 men in the zone, there goes a pass to Vernon Davis. Defense elected to double team Jerron Brown on that play, and the pass falls incomplete. So that's a quick 3 and out, a good break for San Francisco. And with a kick from the 21, they're hoping for some decent field position here. You have all 3 timeouts remaining. They're going to attempt one more time to get a score before the break. There's a kick of 45 yards, be received at the 35, and it goes for no gain. So Crowder catches it. He's unable to do anything with it. See, San Francisco will take over at their own 34, trailing 24-10. 2:24 to go. San Francisco does have all three of their timeouts remaining. Here's an inside run for Bilal Powell. And it's going to be a nice pickup of 21 yards. There is the very definition of a chunky run card. As Tom Cook would say, there's a 44-yard pickup, 41-yard pickup on Snake Eyes, a 21 on 3, a long gain on 10. So maybe that's what we missed in the first quarter, was that 51-yard pickup. Regardless, on one play now, San Francisco has made their way into Seattle territory with 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They're trailing 24-10. So Dennis Crowley looking for the opportunity to slay Dragons in 2 consecutive weeks. This coming from a club that needed a play-in game just to make it to the playoffs. After that 2-yard pickup, it's now 2nd down and 8. So here comes a quick hitter. Defense gets run, interestingly, on that play. Guessed wrong. Walker will pick up 11, and bonus makes his way out of bounds. So San Francisco does not have to use one of their timeouts, which they still have all 3. Ball's now at the 35, 1st and 10. I formation. Looks like safety blitz. And here comes a deep shot. There's nobody in the zone. Diggs is the intended receiver, and they're going to get burnt. So with 0 men in the zone, defender X or long gain. Defender is not a 6, it's a 5, and Diggs has scored, and that will give San Francisco new life before the half, as they're only trailing by 1 touchdown. So Crowley called the safety blitz on that play, leaving the long pass zone open. He still was guarded by a 5, so only a white die 6 would have beaten him. And in this case, Stephon Diggs is able to beat the defensive back for a touchdown, and it is now closer than ever at 24-17. So San Francisco is close to completing this comeback. Seattle has 3 timeouts remaining here before the half, as we'll have to jump back into the game. On the lockup. So we missed a play there, a 6-yard pickup on the play. And Seattle did not use a timeout. They have the ball at their own 31. 2nd down and 4. So San Francisco has gone into a mini prevent here at 3-3-5. Seattle will stay. Wow, what a call by Ed Barrow in the 3-3-5 defense, with everybody in the universe, including myself, expecting a pass. Called run and snuffed out a Malcolm Brown run, who lost 4 on the play on an end run. Now it's 3rd and 8. San Francisco will call timeout here. Not a lot of time left, only 30 seconds, but if they don't convert here, San Francisco will have the ball. And maybe we'll see something crazy like a punt block or a punt return. 3-3-5 setup. No safety blitz coming. Dennis just going to simply run this ball. He does. It's a pickup of 5. San Francisco did not call timeout on the last play. Well, now that's interesting. So it looks like he ran out of bounds. So that preserves all 3 timeouts for San Francisco. Not sure that that's going to come into play because there's not going to be a lot of time left. Seattle elects to kick this one out of bounds, and it's a great kick. Wow. San Francisco will take over at their own 21. With only 15 seconds to go, it's basically a maximum of 3 plays here. Let's see if San Francisco will decide to do something or just take a knee and head into halftime down a score. There's an off-tackle run for Bilal Powell. Defense guesses pass, and there's going to be a big pickup again. For the second time in this game, Bilal Powell has drilled that 51-yard run. That's an off-tackle run. And that'll put the ball at the 8. So now San Francisco has a decision to make here. They do have a couple of timeouts remaining, which means they can stop the clock one more time. So do they try to get a little bit closer to set up something a little bit better than a 45-yard field goal and risk a loss or risk a sack? We'll see. Again, that's Russell, who had lined up for the field goal, but San Francisco is going to try to make it a little bit easier for their kicker. Or do they decide just to lob one deep? It'd be a risk, as the defense is calling safety blitz here, potentially. And there is a hitch pass to Diggs. The defense did call a blitz. And with the white dice 6, 0 men in the zone, that's a catch by Diggs, and that will make it closer. Turns a 45-yard field goal attempt into a 35-yard field goal attempt, as San Francisco will call timeout here with 1 second on the clock. So who'd have thunk it? San Francisco is pretty much headed into the locker room down 7. It looks like they're going to cut the 4, and they will. So Boswell puts that one through. And we have reached halftime in a classic 24-20, Seattle leading San Francisco. But San Francisco putting 13 points on the board. They're in that second quarter. Hardly for dead. San Francisco can put points on. There's no question. So we're going to take a little bit of break here in the action. We will join you momentarily. Again, your halftime score is Seattle 24, San Francisco 21. We'll be back in a little bit. One thing we do is this doctor's supposed to be so let's say there's a doctor in Louisiana across the phone. And I thought it was actually I thought it was going to talk to their dermatologist this evening. $500,000. We basically said, yeah, we can match it now and how much is residue for the curve. So less than back today, we got you to talking. It was crazy the amount of stuff I sent that happened all last week. It was just really good chance for other stuff I catch. And I really they're running super hard down there. wasn't until the thunder started that I didn't realize it, and by the time I got up to look at the windows, Brooke did it really well when I talked to her. I'm glad she, yeah, very, very well. Oh, no, she wasn't like, oh, I told her. I knew that was what it was going to be. She said, I told you that's what it was. And I said, yeah, you're right. This is a good schedule. That's the first words that came out of her mouth. Yeah. And I told them, I said, you know, we'll get you later. You come back here and things, I want you to come here and work with us. And she said, oh, I want to. See what her thoughts are. Who's going to be fighting for you tonight? There's going to be a special guest, and I hope we get lots of players. Okay, so we're going to pick things back up, or at least we hope to. Here we go. All right, so San Francisco will take over. After adding a late field goal before the half, they're now trailing the Seattle Seahawks 24-20. Let's set the stage here. San Francisco 13-3 in the regular season, Seattle 9-7. The winner will play in the SSFA Finals against the winner of Kansas City and Minnesota. Date to be determined. There is a short pass, and that's going to be a pickup of 20 yards. For Marvin Jones, and that is his second reception, 65 yards for him. Fireworks throughout this game. Seattle at one point was up 21-7. San Francisco has added the last 10 points, and they have the ball at the Seattle 42, driving for the opportunity to either cut this lead down or take the lead. Cut the lead or take the lead. Here's an off-tackle run for Powell, who has had a monster game. That's going to be a pickup of 3 on the play. Powell has had 2 carries of 51 yards. He now has 9 carries for 139 yards, an astounding 15 yards per carry. Amazing. 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 39. Powell, let's see how many carries he gets in a game. He's got plenty more to go. He's got 11 carries. So here's another run for Powell. Defense not only gets pass, but they're double teaming elsewhere. So there is, again, the very definition of a chunky card. As you can see, a 51-yard pickup, guessed wrong. A 25-yard pickup, guessed wrong. A 75-yard pickup, guessed wrong. But on a 7, it's a pickup of 3. And an 8, it's only a pickup of 1. So it's definitely feast or famine. You win some and you lose some with Bilal Powell's card, but he's been a difference maker in this game. 2 long runs that have led to a touchdown and a field goal. Here is an end run for Kirk Cousins. So it's his turn to tote the rock, and he will do so. He's going to pick up at least 5 on the play. Is he going to make it? Yes, he does. And that's a pickup of 18. Yes, sir. Kirk Cousins. Around the end, that was a defensive end play. So defensive end 5 or 18. I didn't quite see the defensive formation there, but it looks like Seattle, maybe they brought in. They may have replaced their defensive end with a 0 to put more heat on. We'll have to look for that next time. Here is a pitch out to Carlos Hyde, and he is going to be stopped for only a yard. As the ball rests on the Seattle Seahawks 19. We got 11 minutes on a running clock to go here in the 3rd quarter. San Francisco, trailing at one point 21-7, has cut this lead to 24-20. And they're on the verge of either cutting this lead or taking the lead, depending on the next series of plays. It's 2nd down and 9. Another run for Hyde. That is a pickup of 5 on the play. It's now 3rd and 4. So Seattle is a bit on their heels here. They've been rocked by 2 huge gains that led to a couple of scores late in the second quarter. A deep pass to Stephon Diggs that led to a score. It actually was a touchdown, long touchdown pass to Diggs, and then a 51-yard run by Powell that a couple of plays later led to a field goal. There is a fumble for Hyde. But San Francisco is unable to come up with the ball, so a bad break. Hyde was going to pick up the first down there, but he was stopped short before. If the card is to be believed, that should have been a pickup of a first down, but instead it's a fumble, and Seattle will take over at their own 16. So a bad break for San Francisco, as it looked like they were on their way to cutting this lead or taking the lead, but instead they will turn the ball back over to Seattle. And there's a pickup of 11 on the play to Benjamin, who has been outstanding, 114 yards on 4 receptions, 9 of 16 so far for Russell Wilson, 184 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown pass to Kelvin Benjamin. Here's an inside run to Cohen. Defense guesses pass. Pick up 3 on the play. 9 minutes to go, running clock here in the second half. Third quarter, to be more specific. Seattle up 24-20. On the road against a 13-3 San Francisco club that had the second best record in the SSFA. Defense guesses run. There's a crossing pattern pass to Jerron Brown, but again, the pass falls incomplete. That's twice that's happened now on a guess wrong reading on Wilson's outstanding guess wrong card. But in that case, the pass ball is incomplete, so it's now 3rd and 7. So San Francisco trying to do what they can to get Seattle off the field. Making sure our broadcast is going well. Looks like it is. I am flying solo today. As it's 3rd down and 7. And here's a crossing pattern to Brown. Defense, wow, double teaming Kyle Juszczyk. That pass is going to be caught by Brown for a pickup of 12 and a first down. That's not Jerron Brown, that's actually John Brown. So that is his first reception of the game, 12-yard pickup on the play. Again, guarded by a 6. Defense guesses wrong. That's a Russell Wilson end run, and that's a pickup of 14 on the play with the ball now at the 44-yard line. Russell Wilson has 6 end runs. I believe that was his first of the game. Actually has 4 runs for 36 yards. I don't know if those were designed runs. There's another run. That one, again, Russell Wilson, but this time guessed right. Fortunately, he's only stopped for no gain. There's a lot of losses on that card. He is stopped for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10 with the ball at the San Francisco 44. Seattle trying to add to their 24-20 lead. 6:54 on a running clock. Here's a crossing pattern pass to Jerron Brown. Another must run, and Wilson's going to pick up 8 on this play. It'll set up a 3rd and 2 at the Niners 36. So Russell Wilson now 6 carries, 34 yards. Unquestionably, Dennis Crowley's favorite player the quarterback for multiple clubs throughout his Stratomatic existence, is one Russell Wilson. Here's a crossing pattern pass to Brown, and it's guessed wrong, and bad break for Seattle. As opposed on Russell Wilson's excellent guessed wrong short pass card, but he happens to dial into the interception reading. But fortunately for Crowley, a split of only a 2. So that play was not destined for disaster, but certainly a 1 in 36 chance of that pass being intercepted. So breathe a sigh of relief that nothing catastrophic happened on that play, but it will now set up a 4th and 2, which is an obvious down in which he's going to go for it. No hesitation. Tariq Cohen is in the backfield. So we're going to see a run to either Wilson or Cohen. As Juszczyk is in there as a blocking back, he cannot run. Or do we see a pass again from Russell? If you guess right, you've got that must-run position. If you guess wrong, chances are more likely than not that they're going to convert this first down. Here is an inside run, and the defense guesses pass this time. Cohen is able to pick up the yardage necessary for a first down. That's a pickup of 5. So move the chains, ball at the Niners 31. 5 and change here on a running clock here in the third quarter in this SSFA semifinal game between the San Francisco 49ers, 13-3, coached by Ed Barrow, against Dennis Crowley's 9-7 Seattle Seahawks. Seattle up 24-20 and threatening with the ball at the Niners 31. Here's a run, guessed right for Tariq Cohen. He is stopped in the backfield. In fact, he loses a yard on the play. It's now 2nd down and 11. .448 to go, third quarter. Here comes a pass to Tariq Cohen, guessed wrong, and he's going to be able to make the catch, 13 yards. Defense gets run on that play. So an interesting call there for Ed Barrow, who calls run. And it's on the defensive card. He did have 4 in the zone, but on a receiver reading, Cohen doesn't have a bad card at all, guessed wrong. Defense calls pass. Here's a pass to Brown, so it's called correctly. Defense double teaming Benjamin. And that's a pickup of 13 for Brown. That's John Brown. And it's now 1st and goal at the 6. So Seattle knocking on the door here. They're up by 4. Would love nothing more than a touchdown here. Extend this back to 2 scores. No settling. And such a tough situation here for the defense. There's a run for Frank Gore, and he's going to pick up 5 on the play as the tackle 5 is able to make the block. Again, such a struggle here when you've got now you have to throw a short pass, but Russell Wilson's guessed wrong short pass card is so good. And Frank Gore, even when guessed right, can manage a yard. Plus, you've got Russell Wilson under center who can manage a yard. At this point, you're just guessing. Here is a quarterback sneak for Wilson, and the defense calls run, and Wilson is stopped. So you can see anything there 2 through 7 would have got him that first down. But instead, it's now 3rd and goal at the 1. So 2 more cracks for Dennis to punch this in. I can't imagine him not going for it here on 4th down. But we don't have a 4th down unless he doesn't get it here on 3rd down. So here's an inside run for Gore. It's not going to matter. And Seattle has extended their lead to 30-20, pinning this extra point from Harrison Butler. And the kick is good. And it's now 31-20. So Seattle on the road for 3 consecutive weeks, in fact, has won 2 of them. And they're looking pretty good here with only 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. So could they, in back-to-back weeks, defeat the 2 top teams in the Stratomatic Football Association? 24-team league. And we are now coming down to the nitty-gritty, the final four. And with breathless anticipation, every one of these 24 coaches are waiting for Stratomatic to put pen to paper or keystroke to computer terminal or whatever. We're all waiting for those ratings. This is the last league that you're going to see with these old ratings. Basically, we worked on this season in 2018 while we actually started playing in 2019, but this is using 2017 statistics. So all of us are gearing up for the 2019 season, in which we will use cards and ratings based on the 2018 season, which annually Stratomatic releases in late June or early July. And so all of us are breathlessly anticipating these new ratings. Defense is double teaming Diggs, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. So a 3-and-out, which is exactly what San Francisco did not need. So a nice call by Seattle as they successfully double team the correct receiver, and they will get the ball back, presumably in good field position, except there is a booming kick by Basher, who earlier on uncorked a 4-yard kick. So that's going to help his average. That's a 62-yard kick. And it will be returned for 8 yards by Cohen. It's the real-life Chicago Bear who just scored a touchdown on the Seattle Seahawks last drive. So they are sitting pretty right now with a couple of plays left to go here in the third quarter, up 31-20. And there is a deep shot going for the jugular, but snuffed out correctly by Ed Barrow. John Brown is double teamed, and that pass falls incomplete. So Russell Wilson's pass is 22nd of the game. He's completed 12 of them for 222 yards and a touchdown. And there is a run for Russell Wilson. It's on the defense's card, blocking back. Wow, there's the value of Kyle Juszczyk. Blocking back 6. He says, thank you very much. I can take care of that. And it's a pickup of 5 on the play. No Kyle Juszczyk. That play is hauled down in the backfield. It's 3rd and 11. Instead, you've got a much more manageable 3rd and 5. With the ball at the Seahawks 27. We are just a couple of plays here into the fourth quarter. Seattle. Things are trending Seattle's way as they are up 31-20. Here comes a pass to Cohen. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Only 3 men in the zone, but the pass falls incomplete. So San Francisco is going to get the ball back. That's a 47-yard kick. And it's fair caught by Crowder, Jamison Crowder. So the Niners will take over at their own 26. It's not panic time. There's plenty of time. And San Francisco rolled up 48 points last week. So who's to say? This is a quick strike offense. We've seen 2 deep shots to Marvin Jones and Stephon Diggs. Here's a pass to Marvin Jones. It falls incomplete on Kirk Cousins' card. You know, it's funny. I've played in this league all year, and I think Kirk Cousins' card has a much stronger card than what we're seeing here, especially when guessed right. When you pair him up with a running back and you put that, fear in the other coach's mind, you mix up your plays well. I imagine guessed wrong, he's probably a beast, but guessed right, he's pretty pedestrian. There's your run for Bilal Powell, who only knows how to get pickups of only 15 yards, as you can see by his per carry average. That is 13 carries now for 158 yards. He has 2 carries of 51 yards and another carry of 19 yards. So 121 of his 158 yards came in 3 carries. An astounding 12.2 yards per carry. And there is another short gain. This is a pass to Olsen. Defense guesses run. wouldn't have mattered. It was a defender X reading, and Olsen is guarded by a 4. As you can see, Crowley has been able to navigate these waters with a sort of average linebacker crew. Actually, the very definition of average when you've got 4 across the board. There's an off-tackle run for Bilal Powell. And this time he only gets 3. But 161 yards for Powell. Second down and 7. Running clock, 11:42 to go. San Francisco down 2 scores, 31-20. Here's a button hook pass. Defense is double teaming elsewhere. It's on Kirk Cousins' card. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 3rd and 3 from the 36. What to do? You've got a weak linebacker core here, full of 4s. So one would think a flat pass is in order. Dennis Crowley is not going to bring the heat, so let's see. He's going to probably use that free safety to do a little double team action here. Or is he going to flood one of those 3 zones? And on the other hand, does he say, you know what? That's what we have Carlos Hyde in there. Here is a hitch pass. Actually, defense called run on that play, anticipating that run. And Diggs is able to make the play. It's a pickup of 9. Had defense called pass on that play, Diggs would not have been able to make the catch. Stealing the first down for San Francisco. That's the beauty of this. These are 2 very unpredictable coaches. And again, veteran coaches. So that's how you get this great back and forth between the 2. Here's an inside run for Carlos Hyde, looking at the strength of that center. And wow, what a bad break there. So defensive right tackle, 0 or 22. And while that's not the strongest linebacker group, he does have a pretty solid interior defense. And in this case, they were able to make the play. So no gain for Hyde. Second down and 10. Clock is moving. 9:54. I formation, that's Olsen with Hyde. Here's an inside run. Defense guesses run. Nice call. But he's still able to manage to get 5 yards on the play. Now, Hyde had a big miscue that severely hurt San Francisco here on their first drive of the second half, as a matter of fact. On a 3rd down run, he had the yards to make it for a first down. It was 3rd and 5, I believe. And I believe his card revealed a 5. However, he fumbled the ball and Seattle was able to recover in what has turned out to be the game's only turnover. The only other blatant miscue was a shanked punt that traveled 4 yards for San Francisco. Seattle was able to return it 31 yards, which led to another Seattle score. So on 3rd and 5, that pass will fall incomplete. It was intended for Delaney Walker. So it's now 4th down from the 22. Ed already has made his decision here. The Niners head coach, he is going to attempt the 39-yard field goal. And this is Chris Boswell. Big kick to cut it down to 1 score, and he does. So with less than 9 minutes to go now, the score is Seattle 31 and San Francisco 23. So we're going to jump out and jump back in, as that play will go undoubtedly for a touchback. So 1st down and 10. These coaches go fast. You jump out of the game and you try to jump back in and you hope you don't miss anything, and they've already called their play. So here comes a pass to Cohen. Guessed wrong again, and that's a nice pickup of 10 and a 1st down for Seattle. 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. San Francisco, 13-3 on the regular season, is trailing the 9-7 Seattle Seahawks. Two outstanding coaches, Ed Barrow, longtime coaches, Dennis Crowley. We're talking the Mount Rushmore of head coaches here. Nice double team call there by Ed Barrow as the pass falls incomplete. Very intuitive for Ed Barrow, as that was he was double teaming Cohen on the play. And Cohen is guarded by a 5, so he really must have felt something there, as that was a double team, successful double team. It's now 2nd down and 10 with the ball at the 35. And another successful double team. And this was Vernon Davis. Davis only has 1 catch today for 16 yards. So even though they're double teamed, they're guarded by 6s, still not afraid to double team. Had that been guessed right, interestingly, that would have been a 1-yard loss. But instead, the pass falls incomplete. And the clock stops. So I'm sure that Ed's happy about that. 7:30 to go here. 3rd and 10. Defense is not blitzing here. 3-2-6 is the call. It's an end run for Wilson. He needs 10. Is he going to be able to make it? And he does. He picks up 12 on the play and move those chains. So nice run there for Russell Wilson, as he is wont to do. He has 2 more end runs remaining. Got to be super frustrating. 3rd and 10, and there's not really much you can do about it. Defense guesses right on that end run, and Russell Wilson instead will go backward on this play. He will lose 5. The clock is still running. 6:18 to go. It's now 2nd and 15 with the ball at the Seattle 42. The winner of this game will take on the winner of the Minnesota and Kansas City SSFA final, to be scheduled this week. Here's a curl pass to Benjamin. Guessed wrong. Defense guesses run on the play, and Benjamin is able to pick up 14 yards. That's 246 yards passing now for Wilson, and 129 of those have gone to Benjamin, who has been a rock star this game. Guarded by a 6, no less, the all-world Stephen Gilmore with the New England Patriots. Here's a crossing. Wow, that's an interesting call. And look at this, a big-time sack on the play. Wow, 3rd and 1. That's a great call. So defense calls pass, trying to cross up Barrow on the play. Another pass to Jaron Brown. But the defense calls pass, and there is a sack on the play. Wow, that's a huge punt there. So that's going to send San Francisco all the way back to their own 10-yard line. So 5 minutes to go in this game, trailing by 8. Very much an uphill climb, but San Francisco has the weapons to get down that field quite quickly. Here is a run for Powell. And that's a pickup of 7. Powell now with 168 yards for the afternoon. Starting to get a little tired. 5 more carries before he hits that fatigue level. An off-tackle run again for Powell. Defense guesses run. Nice call. So it limits that play to a pickup of only 3. Had it been guessed wrong, it would have been a pickup of 5. But again, a dangerous running back when guessed wrong. He's had several of those chunk plays today. A 19-yard run and 2 yards of 51 yards. 177 for Bilal Powell. Crossing pattern. Defense guesses incorrectly, but the pass falls incomplete as a defender X a short gain. And it only needed to be a 4. So that play was going to fall incomplete so long as that cornerback isn't a 0, and he's a 5. He's able to make that play. 2nd down and 10. Pass was intended for Jones. Here is a quick out. No man in the zone. And that's going to be a pickup of 12 on the play. So that pass goes over to Delaney Walker. That's 4 receptions now for 42 yards as Cousins goes over the 200-yard mark, but that's academic at this point. The only thing that matters is to get 8 points on this drive. 3:18 to go. The clock is moving. Here is a short pass to Olsen, and he's guarded by a 4, and that's a pickup of 13. It's actually the receiver reading. It's guessed right. Is he able to make his way out of bounds? Yes, he does. So he preserves some clock. So out of bounds at the 45-yard line. San Francisco 55 yards away from the opportunity to tie this up. Again, it's pending the 2-point conversion. Here is a pass attempt. 3 in the zone. This is to Marvin Jones, or could have tried to get it to Marvin Jones. Pass falls incomplete. It was on the receiver card. It's got a very strong guessed right card. Marvin Jones, one of the elite in the NFL. You happen to have 2 of them. 2 fantastic receivers on this club. It's hard to double team one. Can't stick them both, and Walker's no slouch either. Plus, you've got Olsen in the backfield. Here's a screen pass. But this isn't going to do anything. In fact, he's going to lose 2 yards. Fortunately, he gets out of bounds. That pass was to Powell. So now it's 3rd and 12. So it's now nail-biting time for Ed here. San Francisco has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Clock is stopped here at 2:24. San Francisco trailing. The Niners trailing the Seahawks 31-23. The winner will play either Minnesota or Kansas City. And there's a flat pass that only goes for 3 yards. And that play will bring us to the 2-minute warning, setting up 4th and 9. So San Francisco has to decide here, do they go for it? Or do they punt it and hope to get it back from Seattle? But they've made their decision. They're going to go for it. So 4th and 9. From their own 46, defense goes 3-3-5. They are not showing blitz here. They do have 4 men in the zone. Here is a deep shot to Jamison Crowder. Defense guesses pass. And that pass is going to fall incomplete as it's on the receiver rating and, on the receiver's card. Just a so-so card for Crowder. So the pass falls incomplete. Seattle will take over at the San Francisco 46. San Francisco does have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Here's an inside run, defense guesses run, and that's a pickup of 1, Cohen. And defense will call timeout here. So it's now 2nd down and 9 from the 45. 1 first down here will pretty much wrap this game up. So Ed Barrow, with his season on the line, hoping for one more chance with the ball. A turnover, anything here. Frank Gore now checks in. Wow, what a gutsy call. That's a completed pass and a first down for Seattle as that pass goes to Brown for his 3rd reception. San Francisco is forced again to call timeout. So 1:45 to go. And Seattle looking very pretty now. Ball at the 35, they're almost in field goal range. So if San Francisco is actually able to stop them, it might not matter. It looks like Seattle's going to take a knee here, so that'll bring it down to 1:37. Seattle might just take a couple of knees and then just punt it and give San Francisco the ball with just a few seconds on the clock. Again, another knee. That'll run it down to 52. Yep. This one, another knee. This is going to take it down to 15, I believe. Oh, it's going to take it down to 8 seconds. And they're going to go ahead and punt it. And that one is going to sail into the end zone. I believe that's going to leave San Francisco with, oh, mercy sakes, not even that. So if San Francisco can figure out a way to navigate the field 99 yards in 1 second, not only will Ed win this championship, he'll probably be getting a call from an NFL front office who would like to utilize his services as an offensive coordinator. Fantastic game between two coaches. It all comes down to this last play. And unless there's the flukiest thing we've seen in Stratomatic in 100 years, Seattle is going to advance to the SSFA Finals. So again, congratulations will be in order to the Dragon Slayer that is Dennis Crowley. Here comes a long pass to Greg Olson. With 2 men in the zone, the pass falls incomplete, and that is your ball game. So your final score, Seattle is moving on to the SSFA Championship as the 9th seed in this tournament of 9. As the 9th seed, who needed to win a play-in game just to make the playoffs, has successfully beaten in back-to-back weeks the number 1 seed New York Jets at 16-0 and the San Francisco 49ers at 13-3. So a great game between two outstanding coaches. But Seattle will come out on top, and they will face the winner of Minnesota and Kansas City in the finals. So you can't keep a good coach down. All Dennis was hoping to do is just get into the playoffs and give himself a chance for the finals. And lo and behold, he will find himself in the SSFA title game against either Kansas City or Minnesota. I don't know if he's going to be joining us for this post game or not. So we'll take a look at a few statistics here. As Russell Wilson was 15 of 28 for 256 yards and a score. Kirk Cousins, 18 of 29 for 224 yards and a touchdown. Nobody really big on the Seattle side as far as rushing is concerned. No huge numbers for anybody. Bilal Powell, 171 yards, 2 51-yard carries in one game. Kelvin Benjamin, I think the star of the game, 5 catches for 128 yards, stretched the field for Seattle, notched a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 5 catches for 75 yards for the Niners. Seattle drew first blood on a Russell Wilson 2-yard run. They were countered on the next drive by Carlos Hyde. Kelvin Benjamin with a 9-yard pass made it 14-7. After a fluke San Francisco punt and a long return gave the Seahawks the ball at the 20, Seattle extended their lead to 21-7. San Francisco countered with a 47-yard kick by Boswell. Seattle comes back with a 43-yard field goal to extend that lead once again. But San Francisco was able to notch a couple of scores within a minute 15 in the second quarter to close the gap to 24-20. On their first drive of the third quarter, they made their way inside the Seattle 20, but a fumble by Carlos Hyde that was recovered by Seattle squashed that drive. A couple of drives later, Seattle was able to make their way into deep into San Francisco territory. That's a 1-yard run for Gore. Boswell tacked on a 39-yard field goal late. San Francisco had the ball with 2 minutes to go and driving for the tying score, but they were unable to convert on that drive, and Seattle ran out the clock. And so that will just about do it.
Hey, Michael.
And that will about do it. Well, congratulations, Mr. Dragon Slayer.
That was crazy, huh?
It was crazy. It was a well played game. Um, I, I like it when two coaches are who played this game for quite some time who don't know what the other person's thinking. There were a lot of calls that were passed and instead were run and that were passed and trying to get in each other's minds because sometimes you play this a little unconventionally, trying to keep the other coach off balance. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, Ed's such a tough coach for me personally to beat. He beat me in the Somifa Super Bowl, and he's knocked me out. He beat me in the regular season this year. He's just he's just really solid. He doesn't leave you a lot of openings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't take a ton of deep shots today, but I hit a couple, like
Yeah.
on Russ's card, and
Mm-hmm.
that Bilal Powell. I mean, I know I have him in spring fever, but gosh, he always seems to hit those big numbers against me.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, in all the strat that you played in all your life, how many times do you come away from a game with a win where the opposing running back had 170 some odd yards? It was pretty crazy.
What was he averaging? Like 15 yards a carry or
At
something?
one point, yeah, at one point, he finished with 171. Just a crazy number. I know to hit 51 twice in that game, long gains. He's got 75 on that card, but that's the very definition of a chunky card.
It's chunky, but it's off tackle. It's not that bad. Even if you don't hit your big numbers, you're still there's a short gain on six. There's +5 and +4.
Mm-hmm.
So he was moving the ball, and I just had to force myself. It's so tough for me, and a lot of coaches probably feel the same way to call run consistently against Ed, especially when he has a quarterback that can hit the bomb on eight.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Marvin Jones, who has just a crazy receiver card, and all of his targets are good. Stephon Diggs
Yep.
and Greg Olson.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not easy to call run, you know, because he can burn you deep, but
Right.
or burn you for big plays. Either way, run or pass. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I just had to force myself to do it more than I'm comfortable with,
Yep.
and I was lucky on the third downs on my drives. I picked a couple key third downs, and then that short punt where I got a 31-yard punt return. I wish honestly that was like a turnover, but I wish Strat would change that rule. If you hit a punt that's less than I don't know 15 yards, there shouldn't be a return. I mean, think
Right.
about real life. I guess you could argue that it like was a flubbed kick and everybody missed it, and then some guy noticed it and grabbed it and ran. But it just seems so bogus to me that he kicked a 14-yard punt and then I returned it for 31 yards.
Mm-hmm. That your deep back was amazingly able to come up and pick that thing up on the fly. No,
Right.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you
Whatever.
pointed out something interesting. And I'd mentioned that I saw a lot of calls that were wrong. Basically, a run called a pass called a run, and I saw it on both sides. And it's interesting that you would mention that because there's a strategy involved in that. That sometimes it's more about you're going to lose this battle here and there, but it's really about winning the war, and it's about putting in the other coach's mind that I'm not afraid to call run because I know it's coming eventually. I don't want you to think I'm just calling pass, pass, pass. I think that's fascinating, and I see two coaches have been coaching for years and are among the elites. Let's just be honest. They're not afraid to miss on calls just so that the other coach understands, hey, I'm not afraid to call run. And I think he did a fine job of that. I believe if you look at your running statistics, basically there wasn't really anybody with over 45 yards.
Yeah, I split my guys up, but you're right. He didn't let me run guessed wrong at all, very much at all. But I'll give you a good example of that. Is on one of the drives where I was leading by 8, I go end run to Russell Wilson. He calls
Yeah.
run. I lose
Mm-hmm.
5 yards.
Right.
I go end run to Russell Wilson again. Oh no, I was thinking about going again. Gosh, was it 2 times or 3 times? No, no, it was. I think it was. I'll have to go back and look. But the next time, with second down, I had lost the second and 15. I was going to call run again, end run. I said, oh, he's not going to call run again after catching me with that end run call. But he did. And I switched it at the last minute to a
Yep.
pass to Benjamin that got me 14
Correct.
and
Right.
put me in third and one. And he got a sack on the next play anyway. But that's a good example of, okay, he's going to call run twice in a row,
Mm-hmm.
even though he caught me on a -5 run at second and 15.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason not, there's no reason to call run there except if you're coaching against me and I do run the ball a lot there.
Yes. I think on the preceding play where you lost 5, I believe that was the Russell Wilson 3rd and 10 where he got 12. And then on the following play.
There you go. So it was an end run to pick up a first down and break control.
Correct.
Running at his zero run defense linebacker. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm going to come right back with it. Called end run again. He called run -5. And I said, am I going to do it a third time? I said, no, I'm going to pass it. And that set me up for a 3rd and short, even though it didn't convert. That's the kind of things that Ed will do. He doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've end run Russell Wilson 2 times in a row. He is aware that you might do it a 3rd time.
You know, it's something else crazy I've noticed about your team. I mean, both you guys have good secondaries. Both you guys have good lines, but his linebackers are better than yours. And this is yet another game. This is 3 in a row where I've had a chance to see and call some of your games or at least watch them. You're kind of busting the myth about linebackers. It's one of those things like, okay, so if you're staring at, 6.56 or 5.65 or whatever, you're seeing 6s and 5s, you get a little, intimidated by it, especially if you've got them guarding your running back. But you've been able to successfully navigate this with 4s. And it's so tempting to just flat pass the heck out of that. And it just, I don't know, there's just something about maybe the linebacker position is just slightly overrated.
It's hard to say. I mean, Tony won the league last year with 3 6s at linebacker, and that was not a coincidence. But you're right. I don't think it's necessarily a paradigm shift in strategy. It's just that I've gotten really lucky. I mean, Tom flattered me quite a bit. So did Kurt in the first round, but they didn't get those white die 6 rolls that come up 1/6 at a time.
Right.
They were rolling that -4, -2 roll, and they would get hit on a flat pass at a 4 for a loss of yards, which is not typical.
Right.
So, it could be a little bit overrated, but I don't think so. I think they're probably properly rated.
Okay. Just about that. Right. Yeah. Just curious because I mean, you look at that. You don't defend.
It's a lot harder to defend with 3, with everybody being a 4. It would be easier if I had at least one 5 or 6 there. I think. Because you can't just throw at those 4s and the defender X will make it most of the time, and so will the white die 6.
Well, right. And if you've got 3 4s, if you're thinking about flooding a zone, you got a 1 in 3 shot at it, which I mean, at that point, I don't think you flood a zone. I think you just basically go for a double team and hope that you pick the right guy. Yeah. But with at least 1 5 or 6, now you can kind of at least cut your odds in half that you've got a 50-50 shot of picking the right zone. So yeah, I agree. But that's pretty daunting to have 3 4s. But have you ever had a run like this where you defeated 2 teams that were, I mean, obviously not 16-0, but certainly the top 2 teams with a team that barely made it even to the playoffs? Can you remember another time?
Yeah, maybe, but the probably like an SSFDL. But the thing is, this is not a typical 9-17. You say, "Oh, I barely made the playoffs." I did have to win my last game to make the playoffs. But this is a team that I think just got unlucky a couple times in the regular season, and that can happen. I had them pegged at like 11-5 or 12-4, and you're unlucky in 2-3 games, and suddenly that 12-14 is a 9-17.
This club admittedly does look better than, because I mean you've got it lined up so that you've got the running backs. If you guess them wrong, they're going to hurt you, and certainly if you're guessing run too often, Wilson's guess wrong short pass card looks fantastic. So yeah, I mean this looks. Minus the fact you've got deficiency at linebackers, you've got a good run blocking line, especially. Your pass blocking line's fine. This doesn't look like a 9-17. I agree. It just seems odd. I mean, it is quite a run for a 9-7 club.
I did not expect to beat Tom and Ed in back.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I don't think it's so much the records that you've beaten, but I mean the 2 coaches that you've beaten. We're talking like Mount Rushmore here. These are quality coaches.
Totally agree. And then to be able to do that with the average pass while they had the good pass defense card.
Yeah.
That just adds a difficulty level to it. But hey, my season is made. No matter what happens now, you in the regular season, I was like, 9-7. I didn't have a good year, but that can turn around real, in a big hurry. And this is going to be my 4th Super Bowl in a row, and I've lost 3 in a row. So.
Oh God, yeah.
I hope I'm either due or cursed. We'll see what happens.
What do you know about Kansas City and Minnesota? Did you play them in the regular year?
I don't think I played Kansas City. Dan likes the blitz. I'll have to look. I'm not. Well, I'll take a quick peek while I'm on my phone, but I have my computer here. But I know Dan likes to do his thing. He's got Aaron Rodgers. I called his playoff game, I think, the last round.
Mm-hmm.
They're both great teams. That's
Yeah,
not going to be an easy game.
Minnesota won it last year. I
And
think.
Minnesota, I know a lot about Minnesota. I didn't play them, but that's Tony's team. He's the one that beat me in the Super Bowl last year.
Yes, correct. Did you catch that game last week where he was down 3 scores?
I didn't. I mean, I watched it afterward, but I think Tom was calling it.
At the same time that your game was on, actually.
Right.
I was watching that one. I didn't know if you got a chance to catch it. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, so let's just double check. Kansas City, did I play them? No, I don't see them. And Minnesota did not play them either. So whoever wins that game it'll be a first time test for my team. So looking forward to that.
Sure.
Looking forward to watching their game tomorrow night. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure that Tom's got that one. Let's see. So Minnesota was 10-6, and Kansas City was 11-5. So okay.
Yeah. So Kansas City will have the better card.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is the defending champion. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how that one goes. I'll be looking forward to it. They've been talking a little smack on the forum. So it makes it fun.
Well, we are wringing out the washcloth that is the 2017 season. So let's go out and
hopefully we'll have ratings out tomorrow, and we'll get that cloud issue fixed.
Let's hope so, because the last thing I want to do is go to the Stratomatic site and see one more thing about the Father's Day winner. Come on, man.
I know.
Oh, well.
If it's not somebody I know, I don't care.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut and saying I enjoy this hobby. Thank you, Stratomatic, for what you do. But mercy sakes, let's go, people. Come on.
All right, Michael, I got to go. Thanks a bunch for calling the game.
Congrats, Dennis. Way to go, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks.
All right, that's our final score. So congratulations to Dennis Crowley. He will move on to the SSFA final, and he will take on the Kansas City Chiefs or the Minnesota Vikings. That game will be played tomorrow. So Tom Cook will call us a great game. We'll be there tomorrow night to listen to it. San Francisco 13-3 finishes off a great season. Congratulations to you, Ed Barrow. You are the commissioner of this league and a fantastic commissioner at that. We wish you the best, and we will see you soon in upcoming drafts. But congratulations again to Seattle Seahawks as we will head to the finals. Final score 31-23. Signing off, this is Michael Reeves. Good luck and God bless.